Hello guys, this is Big Fish, and on today's video we're going to be discussing this Warlord and the reworks that was done to the class. We will be putting it at max graphics because why not. I do have already a clip for you guys to watch later on. Of course it'll be uncut, and before there's a lot of like Warlord players saying like, "Oh, Uncle Big Fish, that's not the optimal way to play Warlord, or you're playing Warlord wrong." That is 100% intentional. I do not want to teach people how to play the class properly because this class is absolutely broken, and I don't think that a class this good will be fair to get a guide, especially one that can be used competitively. And because of that, I guess that's one way or the other a way to balance the class. And for that to happen, I need to turn this armed off first. Now, if you realize here, when I use this skill, you get this buff, this arms buff. This arms buff is absolutely amazing. I will show you here exactly what it does. This armed passive is the one that is currently being buffed. During arms, you have a 20-second. You will actually have sprint, evading, or when you're using skills. To arms, it will enhance 4 skills: upper hand, conduit, circle slash, and immolation. Now, so before I continue, I must say that since this buff has been made, you no longer have to use finale for your combo, which was my old build, because in the past this was the only skill out of all of this other skill that can trigger the armed passive. But now you don't need to do that. You can actually turn it on with any skill. To be honest, you can use finale as well. As you can see there, you can turn on this thing on. I'll just do this thing off so we can turn it off. Yeah? You can even use this if you want to. As you can see, the passive will turn on even without finale. So with that being said, this skill does have some sort of weakness to mana break. With mana break, you cannot use backdraft because this skill does use MP. However, the rest of the skills should have no problems whatsoever. So I guess that's one thing that can be quite nice. This is gonna be the skill backstab. On the video, I do not have this yet. So imagine if I have this, it's gonna be completely different. With this, I will have 3% less cooldown, and because the arena has been reworked, so like these, if you don't have to flow on, it will not activate in the arenas as well. That means in the arenas I'm still using the base 12-second cooldown backstep instead of the 8, which it would naturally have. This class does have near 24/7 immunity unless you fuck up. This thing has pretty good linger, as you can see on the icon right next to the I'll just put a marker there. When this skill uses, there is a bit of linger just at the end, just a little bit. It's not impressive, but it's not bad. Backdraft also has the same effect. However, the main bread and butter will be the skill backstab. During your flow, which is the super armor, you will get this. It will allow you to move pretty much close to a berserker's charge. It does not have CC except on the last hit. The last hit has a knockback, and you can actually go from this knockback to say upper hand and then circle slash. It will have enough time for you to do that, so don't need to worry about it. You will have time. Aside from that, the rest of the build will be as you can see here. I will not be explaining my build. I don't think it's even necessary. I don't even think you need to think too much about it. This class is absolutely broken. Currently, it's just very, very strong, and I don't think you need any kind of guide to help the class. After all, it's a bit too strong. What else should I explain? Oh yeah, the passive, yeah? This armed passive will give you 25% PvP damage taken reduction. So it does have a base negative 25% PvP damage reduction, which makes this class extremely tanky. And also it has a new buff, which pretty much max HP plus 700 for 10 seconds up to 5 stacks. Now, how do you get the stacks up? Oh, well, this is actually quite interesting. So if you see my HP here, it is going to be 24.5. You can turn it on with this and you will be 25.2, and then you can pretty much just you can use all sorts of different shit. The moment you use up your passive, the buff will stay. Like here you see, wait, let me just do this. All right, I need to turn off all of the current. I need to turn off the buff first. So give me a second. We have to turn this thing off, and this is the only thing that I have currently that can turn it off. So if you see here on the passive, it does affect upper hand, conduit, circle slash, and immolation. That means right now here you can see my HP is at 24.5. If I turn on the passive, it will become 25.2, like so. And say that I use say I use this and then this, and the passive is now gone, right? If I turn the passive on again, it will actually increase the max HP all the way up to from 25.2. It's gonna go all the way to 25.9 if I recall correctly. All right, let's just do that first. Pay attention to the HP bar. As you can see there, the HP goes up again, and now you can use this and turn off again. And the moment you turn on, it's gonna basically if you keep spamming your skills, it's gonna keep on going back and forth indefinitely until as you see there now it's 26.6. The HP will keep going up all the way to a max total of 4,000. Wait, let me just do the math real quick. It gives 700 all the way to 5 stacks, so it gives a maximum of 3.5k HP. This thing is quite nice, especially because it gives you more base HP. However, this max HP buff only lasts for 10 seconds. Now, this 10 seconds, all of the buff will work independently. So, say like you can get all the way up to 5 stacks. It will not be for long, because probably only for 1 or 2 seconds, because the cooldowns do not stack it doesn't refresh the cooldown. So I think it's a way for them to balance the class a bit. It gives the class some time to actually lower the HP again in case you don't keep spamming your skills. So this class can probably, in my honest opinion, it can only probably maintain the HP enhancement at maximum stacks only up to twice, because you don't have enough skill to actually use up this passive. The cooldown won't hold. So if you see here, conduit, this thing has a 9-second cooldown. With the reduction, it's gonna go all the way to 7. And then you have immolation, which is also the same. This will become 7. So the cooldown will not actually last for a whole 4 rotations. It can only last for a total of 3 rotations and a half. That way, you cannot maintain the maximum stack for too long. It'll probably stay for at most maybe 4 seconds. And it will probably go down to 4 stacks first before going back up again to 5 stacks in between. So I guess that's one way to balance the class. The class is absolutely strong. This thing hard counters the current meta, which is the Grandmasters and Lancers. This class absolutely destroys those classes, because those classes are primarily forward guard based, and this class have pretty much, this thing breaks forward guard instantly, this thing breaks forward guard instantly, and you can actually go from this to this. It chains and breaks someone's FG from the back. It does work as well. You can even go from the backstep, the running skill, to a circle slash. That works too. You can go like that, although it's pretty slow. I recommend probably from backstep to upper hand, or from backstep to crescent slash. You can go like wait, give me a second. You can go like this, circle their back, and use this, and it will actually break their forward guard from the back as well. There's so many ways that you can play this class. This class is extremely flexible. There is absolutely no weakness currently. It does have some problems with grabs. However, the class is very tanky, and because the class is very tanky, it does not actually have a lot of issues even when grabbed, because it's tanky. Plus, the bread and butter and the one saving grace of this class that makes it really strong is actually the fact that this upper hand is a super armor skill, has very low cooldown, 5-second cooldown, and also it heals. It heals for maximum hits. It hits 7 times, and this heal will go all the way up to, if I recall correctly, 150 HP per hit. By maximizing that, you can pretty much go all the way to 150 times 7. Yep, that's extremely strong. So obviously, 150 times 4 is already 600. And then you're gonna times that again by 2, pretty much, because 150 times 4, that's 600, plus 450, that's 1050 healing every time you use the skill. This thing is absolutely broken in arenas. After all, any kind of sustain and healing in the arenas, especially if it's on a protected skill, is very strong. I think that's gonna be about it for the Warlord. Yeah, I hope you guys kind of get the class a bit. I just make this content because a lot of people are asking for it, and I do think although this class is absolutely broken, it's still not broken enough for it to just dumpster everything the way Yacha or old Legatus or something, or Ravens can perform. This class does have one particular weakness, and I'll be sharing this weakness with you guys just so you guys can learn, for those that are watching, can learn how to counter this class, whether it is in arenas or in field. This class have a problem with mobility, and it's kind of weird. This class has this and it has this, right? Yes, however, this running skill does not have any form of CC except on the last hit. So it's only got 1 CC on the last hit, and this thing is the only form of fast mobility. And it doesn't have any form of other form of mobility, so it doesn't actually have ways to get close to an opponent aside from using backdraft or this backstab. That means the moment you see a warrior committed this backdraft, it is a go time for you to keep kiting him. And the moment he uses, say, this running skill, you can actually just use a non-super armor skill on it. However, you need to be very careful, as they can cancel the skill at any time and connect it to a different skill. They can go from they can go all the way from this, and suddenly they can spin. So be careful about that. However, if you can cause a warlord to do that, it's actually bad for the warlord because it ruins his rotation. Alright, I think that's going to be about it for the explanation. I do have a couple clips for you guys to watch. I think it's about 7 minutes long. Absolutely broken class. My FPS dropped a couple times in the video, so please do mind about that one. Regarding everything else, yes, this is pretty much it for the Warlord. On the video, I do not have the cooldown reduction on this one yet, so yeah, I don't have the 24/7 immunity because of that. And also, I think I don't have cooldown reduction on any of the skills. I don't have one for Conduit, I don't have one for Emulation, I don't have cooldown reduction on all of them. And this one, increased range, I don't have it as well. So obviously the damage will be obviously very, very low compared to what it could have been. Also, yeah, there's just a lot of things that are going on in the video. So just hopefully you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys on the next one. The next video will be about the reaction video. Enjoy.